this is the first camera. When we're talking to her, we're going to look at that one. And you're going to see her right there.
We're going to talk to the camera here.
Mm-hmm. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to PcolaPodcasters. I'm Crystal.
I'm Clayton.
And I'm Cindy.
My mom, y'all. This is my mom. I'm so excited. As you notice, it's not Kelly. Kelly, unfortunately, is out because she is sick. So we are adjusting as we go. But my mom's super excited about it. She had so many questions earlier, yesterday with me. She was like, tell me all about it. So I'm about to send this link here to Miss Ericka. Sorry for the delay, by the way. I dropped the router. I am clumsy. You can ask my mother. All right, let's go to Miss Ericka here. I sent the link here. And I'm going to send the link to Kelly, too, just in case she wants to jump on. So it might be random, just so y'all know. Just in case. All right, so we're going to switch over to the Zoom call meeting. Switch our camera, which is going to be on too. She's going to hop in here soon, hopefully. We'll go ahead and turn it on there too. She's ready to go. She was ready to go, and I had a little scare because I hit her up like an hour ago, and then I was worried that we had some sort of lost connection. So I was like, okay, well, we'll just reschedule, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, we figured it was giving it the benefit of being the weather.
Yeah, I figured because the Ida thing, I don't know exactly where she's located because I believe she's in Pensacola, but I know she works like everywhere. She's got like a spread. She does like Louisiana area, Mobile, Alabama. She's so our guest today, by the way, is Miss Ericka Boussarhane, I believe it is pronounced. Boussarhane, I think it is. I think I've been calling it Boussarhane, and then I was wrong because I heard her pronounce it in one of her videos. So apologies if I mispronounced the inflection there. Let's check our chat here, just in case. There we go. She has received that. I'm going to jump over to where I can see our chat real quick as well while we're waiting on. This is the first camera when we're talking to her. Yep, that's EOC. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. We are here. Hello from Ohio.
Oh.
Cassie Perry, Dawn Nikki, Kelly's here. Share video with friends. Absolutely. Let's do it. Just for funsies. Okay. All right, well, just so y'all know, after this episode, I will be hosting karaoke. Not karaoke, but bar bingo at Woodsy's. Bar bingo at Woodsy's. Tuesday night, though, is karaoke. Just FYI.
Yeah, Mom, just in case you want to sing.
Yeah, mom's all about it if we do Proud Mary, some CCR.
Oh, really?
Credence Clearwater
A little
Revival.
more on the bayou, all that good stuff.
Oh, here we go.
I like it.
She's coming in, yes.
Yay, hey.
Hi. Hello, beautiful.
That's nice to see you.
All right, we're going to look up here at this camera so we can see her. All right. I can't hear you yet. It's connecting to audio. We'll get
Hey
there.
guys.
Hello,
Can you hear me?
it's connected.
Hey.
Nice to see you. I'm sorry about
Nice
the
to
delay.
see you too. Oh, it's okay. It's been a wild weekend, so it's all
It
good.
has. It's been totally wild. All right. So tell me a little bit about yourself. I know that you are a international psychic medium. You have been on like was it the Discovery Channel for?
I think it's sci-fi so far. Sci-fi, and I don't know what else.
TV, wasn't it?
Yeah, and she has.
Yeah, I've been on Blab, Roku, Amazon, and Pensacola Lighthouse edition of Sci-Fi.
Okay, that's awesome. All right. Well, we have a couple questions for you, of course. So.
Can I ask one question before we get too far into this? I read a book in, was it Walden's Books? What's across from the donut shop?
From what?
From the donut thing on airport?
Books A Million?
It might be. But I read a book in there called The Most Haunted Places in Pensacola. Did you have anything to do with the writing of that?
I did not. I know that there have been several books out. Professor Brown is one of the writers of another book. Unfortunately, I was not contacted about those books, but yeah, I would have loved to help them locate some locations. And I think the thing that's interesting with mediums is that, you can hear that a place is haunted. And, a lot of it is folklore. Some of it is just people want to own a ghost. I mean, come on. They're fun to own, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm more of a debunker, I guess you could say. And I think sometimes people don't contact me for that reason, because there are a lot of places that are allegedly, my quotes are up, haunted. And there's no activity there. I won't name names, but
people on the National Enquirer, huh?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So
maybe they were haunted, once, by, I saw a ghost. But as far as residual or frequent hauntings that you could actually interact in this day and time, no, not really. But Pensacola is very haunted. I mean, not to downplay that. I love my city, and it definitely is haunted. But there are a couple spots that are in books like that have no activity whatsoever.
Well, I mean, when you've been owned by 5 different settlements, things happen.
yeah. So we've got a stigma that's going on with psychics. Tell me a little bit about the stigma that you've been trying to debunk as well. Like how I was listening to. I watched a couple of your YouTube videos, and you're all about breaking the stigma, and I'm really interested to hear about like the stereotype that maybe isn't quite, you know what I'm saying? Like the stereotype that isn't relatable to you.
So a good friend of mine always says that I take the scary out of psychic, because I'm just a regular chick, I talk to dead people and I hear voices. Maybe I might be a little crazy too, because I'm wild, but I try to let people know that intuition is a very natural thing. We're born intuitive. Animals are intuitive. Insects are intuitive. They don't necessarily communicate with us, but they have their own way of communicating, especially dogs, cats, those kind of things. I mean, they know when you're feeling a certain way because, again, they're intuitive. So what I try to do is say to people, hey, look, you were born with an extra sense, along with your 5 senses. You have your 6th sense, your intuition, your gut feeling, your hunches. Not luck, as most people think, but that inner thing that communicates. And there is nothing witchy about it. There's nothing evil about it. I grew up being, African American. Obviously, you can look at me and kind of tell I'm a little chocolate. So I grew up, when I would tell people what I am, they automatically assumed that I was going to put a hex on them, or a curse, or a dealt in voodoo, or it was just that a lot of times they were scared of me, and I liked that a little bit. But because I kept them guessing, but I always try to say to people, it's not anything, because we live in the Bible Belt, if you didn't know. So there's nothing evil about tapping into your innate intuition so that you can listen to, well, again, say those hunches, those things that kind of come to you. Yeah, so there's nothing weird or evil or, and I try to just tell people, I mean, you're going to get those synchronicities when you meet people. Yeah. You're going to get those things that happen that we think are chance, that I always say that is just alignment. Sometimes we ask for things, we receive them, but at the time, we don't see the synchronicities or the intuition in play. And I love to say this too, like sometimes with people, they'll meet somebody and they get a bad vibe about it, or they'll have a bad vibe about something and they don't listen to it. And I always hear them say, oh my God, I should have listened to that. That's intuition. There is nothing woo-woo about it. There's nothing like you got to go to New Orleans and sell your soul to the devil kind of stuff. No, it's just like you're born this way and do your thing.
Well, it's actually funny you should say that, because when me and her first started talking, I told her that about most women I know and men. Most women I know notice something in a man that festers into what eventually breaks them up. But it's like they do notice it in the beginning, but it's like, oh, well, it's this or that or whatever, you know what I mean? But it festers into what ends it in the end because they just didn't pay attention to it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And speaking of, did you, you went to Seville, and there was a YouTube video where, I believe it was for your second site,
Yeah.
There was a episode where you kind of shone a light, which I thought was cool, on domestic violence. The ways to contact people. Like there was a little excerpt in that, but about things like that. With the intuition that you felt whenever you walked into the room, for example, the cooler, and you felt like you got hit in the back of the head.
That hurts.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like it's a little bit more than an intuition. Like you physically felt that.
Yeah.
Right?
So I always say that we're all intuitive. So there's some of us that are supersized. So I would say that my intuition is a little different or supersized. I hear a voice or voices that tell me things. I feel things, which is basically clairsentient. Clairaudience is the hearing. I'm clairaugustus, which I can taste. I'm all the clairs that you want to think of, which is crazy.
We'll just call her Claire.
Yeah. How was your name not Claire? Yeah.
Not Karen, but Claire.
Yeah. That's nice.
So yeah, I guess that's a good point. Everybody is intuitive for sure. You're going to get it in a different way with dreams. I just got a big helping of this stuff. So yeah, I do feel things like in Seville, for instance. I could hear communication from another time. I could feel the pain of falling actually and hitting my head. I could smell, a lot of us could smell different things at different locations, like tobacco. A lot of times that's a common smell, burning when there's been fires. So there's just a lot that I guess I have all that. But I think that I always want to tell people you can have all of those things too, not at the same time, but recognize it. Because I can't tell you how many times people have said, I feel my mom. I walked in the room and I smelled her perfume. Was that real? Why are you asking me? No, yes, 100% that was real.
Right.
Oh, so what age did you start noticing where you could read those signs to be able to tell, like, this is what's happening and this is how I use it to help or heal or whatever you do to use it for? Like, when did it become apparent, like, you were the shit? You know what I mean?
And also, does anybody in your family have the same feelings and abilities that you have?
This stuff runs deep. Definitely in my genes. My mom is, she's in dentistry and she's an artist, but, she played with the Ouija board. See, again, I always say you don't have to do that, but you could if you wanted to, but it doesn't make you psychic. But yeah, my mom was a crazy black chick. She was a Ouija board talker. I mean, she was all of that growing up. Yeah. So I was all afraid of that growing up. But, so yeah, it runs in my family. My mom has it. I'm sure my uncle has it because he's a cop, and I'm sure that blue sense was definitely intuition. My aunt had it. My grandmother had it. I found recently on my father's side, my grandfather told me, because I was bragging one day, I said, yeah, I got it from my mom's side. And he said, wait, not really. But they were really churchy, so they didn't go into too much detail about that. So when I always say that I kind of recalled or knew that I was kind of a little different was around age 7 when I think I first saw my first dead person that I remember. But you got to remember, like, I slept with a nightlight for all of my life growing up. Even when I was a little girl, my mom had to tuck me in at night, put powder on my bed. I was precious. But so I figure if she had to tuck me in at night, pretty much all of my life, I probably had friends that I saw that she never told me about and I blocked out, I'm sure.
Well, I imagine if it didn't come until 7, you were just told, like, well, that's the boogeyman, or like, whatever like that. People were telling you, well, that's not real or whatever, you know what I mean? So, before
but it's
7.
Real to you.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying she said 7. I was like, well, before then, people would just be telling you it's nonsense anyway.
Yeah, they weren't believing you probably. How did that feel? Do you remember any of that?
Oh, my mom played with dead children in Massachusetts when she was young. Her siblings, my grandmother, my father was in the military and he was stationed in Massachusetts at a base. And there was a little dead girl that they used to play with that my grandmother knew was dead. That's a whole nother story. That's why I say the waters run deep here. But I think my mom knew that I had maybe saw things when I was little. She just kind of like didn't want to engage in it. So I just don't remember her ever like saying, oh yeah, by the way you saw this. But I do know that I have that happen a lot with people that I interact with their children, and always say if they see things, as you say it's real to them, acknowledge it. You don't have to like call, John Zaffis and a demonologist and all this craziness. Just acknowledge it and change the energy instead of saying it's fearful like the boogeyman, like we were all taught of the Slender Man, the boogeyman, and all those things. Just tell them it's their fairy godmother or their guardian angel watching over them, and then it changes how they feel about it, and a lot of times it will go away.
Okay. So I actually have a friend that they feel like they have a lot of energy in their house, and her father passed away, and but she feels like it's not her father and maybe a negative energy. How do you address something like that?
Are you very familiar with her house?
I'm pretty familiar with it, yes.
Okay. Wow, made me cry when you said her dad died. I'm that sensitive. Oh, it's okay. Do you know if she has a cat in that house?
I don't think she does, no. They used to have a dog that had a really deep connection with the father named Isis.
Okay, let me see. All right. When you walk in her house, does she sleep on the left-hand side?
She normally sleeps on the couch, actually. And yes, on the left-hand side by the, which is weird because all the bedrooms are to the right, but whenever you walk in the door, the living room's to the left, and that's where she sleeps, is on the couch normally. Okay,
that's where her spirit is. She actually has two things there. I think it could be a dog or a cat. I'm not really a cat girl. I'm a dog girl, but it felt like a cat, so I got to say cat. I don't know if he had respiratory issues or something, or there's smoke or something going on in that house right now. That might be fun. But yeah, there is something. I'm not going to say it's negative. That's going to be to the right. If you go downstairs, go out her house, I feel like it's on another level. So I don't know if it's not flush to the ground, like you got to walk. For some reason, I feel like I got to walk down to get to the grass or the ground. Yeah. And I don't know if this is in Milton or something, but there's some woods like to the right of the house. And there's actually, I get too deep. There are two graves. It's kind of funny how I see. Do you know if she's in Milton?
I'm actually in Pace. You might be getting like my vibe and her vibe mixed up because I'm in Pace and she's in Pensacola.
Okay. I might be in your house. Do you have wood floors now where you live?
They look like wood, but they're laminate.
Okay.
I think
fake wood floors.
Okay.
I'm in your house. Do you have a cat?
No, but our neighbors have cats that my mom's very connected to because they're deep friends.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think it's a negative thing in her house. I do know there is something unresolved with her father, though. You can let her know that he's okay. And sometimes when communication is given at death, either the person is not able to talk to them or they don't know that the person actually hears them. Or for some reason, I feel like there's acknowledgement of touching or rubbing or something of this person. And she should know that he did visit her in a dream because that was kind of like so real that she might have not really understood that it was really a visit. So you might want to let her know about that. Okay.
Okay. Well, I think what's weird about that is I actually think my friend, whenever she recently had a dream, I think that and she told me about it, that it felt really real about her dad. So that might be something I can, that's tricky.
Pass it along. For some reason, she still feels like she's in Milton. So she might be like really rural. Like I live in Beulah, Cantonment feels that way. Normal Pensacola doesn't feel like that unless she's got a lot of wood surrounding her.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about whenever you were doing your classes for exercising the muscles. What muscles? You were doing classes to unlock your psychic ability. So do you still do those classes?
Yeah, I do have a psychic development class all online that you can purchase, and I have CDs. And basically what I kind of tell people is it's not really unlocking it, even though, I mean, that's like a cliche term, unlocking, unleashing your psychic ability. It's just really acknowledging that you have them and figuring out which ones you do have, and then learning how to use them and determining what is to you and from you. And from you is usually like, you know, if I were to say in your mind right now, say happy, I'm so happy, I'm so happy, I'm so happy. And then if you were to hear something beyond that, that's not coming from you, that would be to you. And so in meditation, when you quiet your mind, you're able to open up that channel and have clearer communication. It happens a lot in dream state. And for some reason, I can like not dream or not be in dream state, but be alert and be in dream state. And it's just a weird, cool thing, but I can teach people how to do it. It just has to do with learning to use meditation in order to quiet that mind that races. And a lot of times people have difficulty doing that because they got bills to pay, they got to get here, they got to do this. And there's so many things that we're thinking of. So it's hard to listen to what they're giving us.
So how do you feel about astral projection?
Oh, I love it. I love doing that. I love to do astral. I think sometimes people get afraid of it because they don't think they can return to body. And I always think that a lot of times when people are sleeping, they're going astral anyway. And when people have like, I don't know if you've ever had a situation where you were like shaking in a dream, or you was like sitting and all of a sudden you shook. A lot of times that shaking is actual astral projection where you're coming back into your body, and the movement of like that is really just a jerk. Yeah.
Yeah. The falling down the step feeling. Is that what you're
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, maybe that's what
he's coming back in.
The Shook Me About song.
Oh yeah, maybe. Shook me all night long. That makes sense. It does.
Yeah.
So I met you at karaoke, and I have to tell you that it was totally awesome meeting you. I don't know if you remember meeting me, but it was at Woodsy's on Mobile Highway.
I love Woodsy's.
Yes. I was a DJ. I was running karaoke. So I definitely appreciate you. That's how I found out about you. You know what I mean? Like, I really had this positive vibe off of you. You had a great energy about you, and I can't say that I'm psychic or anything, but I do get that vibe from you.
No, you are. We all are.
Okay. Well, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So with this psychic medium ability, is it ever exhausting for you? Like, does it ever like come to you whenever you don't want it to, per se?
Yeah. I think like people ask me, do you walk around talking to dead people 24 hours now? And by the way, I'll make this funny joke about Woodsy's. Everybody who knows me knows I cannot sing a lick. I mean, a lick. Everybody on my father's side could sing like crazy. I mean, I've got a cousin named Nikki Richards who sung with Madonna for many years.
Oh, wow.
And I said, why didn't I get the singing thing? I would have loved that other than the psychic thing. But now, because I always wanted to be a rock star, some kind of singer, it just ain't happening. So I will just say that we all have different abilities. And like in singing, which I remember, I believe you can sing very well.
Yeah.
Very well.
Thank you.
That's why I play the bass, because I've been playing with it with bass. And it's because I couldn't sing a note to the post office, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, most DJs are karaoke DJs can sing really well, and I've met a lot of them. And on rotation, they're like, I'll tell you a funny story. I remember I was singing Adele one day, and I don't know if it was at Woodsy's because I used to sing different places. And this one girl came up and said, "Girl, let me help you. You killing that song." So literally, that's how bad I sing.
Oh no.
It's really bad, and I totally forgot what else you wanted to ask me because I got off on my singing tangent.
Oh no, it's totally okay. I was originally asking if it was exhausting, and then you said you had a funny story about Woodsy's, and I'm like, I love it. But
okay. Exhausting in some ways. Like, I think because I have really strong boundaries, there are times when I'll talk to somebody and they'll want to talk to me again because I helped them in some way or they helped them in some way. And so it is very exhausting because sometimes, you know, there's a lot that people, you know, want not from you, but they just want help. And sometimes that's overwhelming. Other times, as you mentioned, like when I go places, there are times like I was just in Gainesville handling some housing stuff for my son. And I went places and I'm like, oh my God, a dead person is talking to me.
Yeah. Is it so? Whenever you're having a conversation with somebody, do they interrupt? Is it distract? Do you ever have to be like, I'm sorry, pause over here and adjust your attention?
Yeah, it's like I kind of zone out or something. I don't know. It's weird. Like I can be talking to somebody and they'll look so familiar to me, and I'll be like, "Do I know you?" And they'll be like, "No," and I'm like, "Oh God, it's a dead person." And then so I'll be like, sometimes I'll just like not listen, and then other times I'm very compelled to listen. And so then I'll share what, if they're willing, because I always believe that, discernment is so important. Don't go around trying to like be ego oriented. Like I can do this and I can do that. Because literally I'm not doing anything. I'm just trained to listen to another channel and be very gracious because I have this ability, and also acknowledge that it's not me. I'm not wonderful. No, it's me listening, tapping into something, relaying a message to heal and help. And that's the position I take of it. And I think that some psychics that are like out there, ooh, look at what I can do, kind of bull crap. Those are the ones that fall really fast. And I've been doing this for a long time. And I feel very blessed. But it is overwhelming sometimes. It's very draining emotionally because, look, I cried when you said your friend's dad had died. Because I'm a woman and I'm an empath, and you are also, by the way. And so we feel very deeply. And so it's kind of hard to sometimes separate that, but I get through it.
Okay. So, can you turn it off? I know that you said you're compelled to listen, but like, can you like actually like just be like, I'm not doing this right now with a conversation?
Yeah, I think like when it comes to my kids or my family, my immediate family, they're very respectful of that. I know, like I said, when I was just dealing with some stuff in Gainesville, I wasn't so I was so focused on what I needed to do there. I didn't really have a lot of, ooh, look at me. But I will tell you, I got lost in the woods someplace, like on purpose, I guess. GPS kind of messed up. And I ended up driving down these roads that felt just like Beulah where I live. And I was very stressed out. And it was almost like they made me get lost so I could enjoy that greenery. And then probably like 2 to 3, 4, 5 miles later, I was like, oh, I appreciate this. Now I feel much better. But then I was like, gosh, y'all made me waste a lot of gas. So sometimes things happen for reasons we don't know, definitely. And I just look up sometimes and just say thank you because we just don't know why.
Right. So as a cold case psychic, are there actually any investigations that you've assisted with that they're able to use? Like, how do they scientifically prove something that you have foreseen? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So when I first became this, I guess, the becoming of me, I had a daycare center and I was really being haunted on Godwin Lane. Whoever bought my house, I hate it for you. I was being haunted.
It comes with guests free.
It's not haunted, I'm sure. I am. But yeah, I was seeing all these dead women. Like, I mean, it was crazy. Like dead woman. And then I felt like I was looking at whatever happened to them from their eyes. And so I started trying to research how to like hone this. And so I went to John Edwards' teacher, Sandy Anastasia. And I was like, I'm a mess right now. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this. I don't know if I'm going crazy. What is going on? She explained to me, she taught me how to use it. I learned a lot on my own. And I was like, I want to be the best. John Edwards was the best at that time. I want to be the female Black John Edwards. Hello. And so I went down to the sheriff department with my crazy butt and said, look, I know you probably think I'm nuts, but just let me help. And so that's when I met Joanna Otto's family, and I helped her. and we're still friends. Her mom, we're still friends to this day. We eat lunch every year. And then I started working cold cases over the internet through findme2.com and some of the other networks like Doe Network and whatnot. And so I know I had this one girl, I think her name was Tina Peterson. Her mom had contacted me, and I basically, what I would do is I would kind of like go into like a meditative trance and put a tape recorder in my shirt, and I would push play, and then I would just recite everything I saw and heard, and I sent the tape to her. And then so she responded later on. This blew me away, and this is when I really knew that I had to do this. She said that the girl that I mentioned was found by the FBI, Route 47, I think it was. I was in Arizona. I told her she was in Arizona. I saw the road mark 47. She was behind a truck stop tied to a tree. I still have this email that she sent me saying that she was all those places that I saw, and it freaked me out. And I was so afraid. Like, oh my God, no, they're coming after me. I was so freaked out. So then I started going like undercover, and doing this and, on the internet. And I stopped doing my daycare center.
Now that sounds like a good show. That's what y'all put on blast. It's like undercover psychic detective.
It does. I like that.
Yeah. I'm your secret problem solver.
It matches all 5 of my personalities. So,
all 50 of hers.
So what ended up happening after that is I started traveling, like doing the psychic medium thing with some of the TV people that we see nowadays on TV. And then later on, one of the other cases that are noteworthy is I was doing a gallery reading at the Mystic Cottage on Mobile Highway. Was the store that I was actually probably coming from at the time when I was going to Woodson. Cindy Green owned the Mystic Cottage, and I was a reader there, and I was doing a gallery. And all of a sudden, these 4 Black girls walked in and sat down. And I mean, I'm gonna be honest, Black folks don't be fooling with this stuff. We scared of it. Yeah. So when I saw them, I was like, wow. Fresh, breath of fresh air. I got some color in here. And so,
it's awesome though.
The third girl, her name was Samira, and I joked and I said, I have a son named Samir. Your name means entertaining. And then later on, I'm, talking to her, and I said, hey, you're pregnant. And she looked at me and she says, I'm not pregnant. And I said, well, that's what they said. You're pregnant. And later on, and I don't recall what I said. I just remembered that there were people that were there after the fact, sent me messages saying that I had said to her to stay away from her baby's father, and that I saw a red car and a body being put in a trunk, an apartment complex, and they were, gave me bits and pieces of what I said, because once I hear it, it's like set it and forget it. Well, 3 months later, the other 3 Black girls came to me at the Mystic Cottage, and I happened to be there, and said, Samira's missing. And I closed my eyes and I could see her. She was floating in water. And then they had Sergeant Thacker at the Pensacola Police Department contact me, and I basically told them what I saw. And Samira Watkins, pregnant female, Black female, 3-month-old pregnant, Black female that did not know she was pregnant, was murdered by the military police officer. And yes, they made a documentary, and the police officer said, yes, I talked to the psychic and she told me where her body was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's a real true case for sure that's been documented. And there are others that, thank God, were not documented, because I was so worried about my children. I didn't want any publicity.
Right. So those are the types of things that maybe you are concerned about sharing. So coldcasepsychic.com, you have all of these websites, and I know that you seem very helpful to these people whenever you approach them. There was the episode on YouTube with Apple Annie's. I think you're in Apple Annie's, and it was very trippy to see how awesome your effect was on that girl for the closure that she needed for the boy's grandfather that was there. I believe his name was Rex. But
yeah.
it was very cool and it was awesome. And I think that, you know, you do have a gift, and I think that it's really cool that you also approached her with the, you know, are you receptive to talking to a psychic medium? Because you are respectful of boundaries, and it shows, you know what I'm saying? So it's very cool, and it's a perfect career path for you too, because you want to help people. The cold case psychic thing is cool. You have multiple websites, you know, so Pensacola Ghost Event, that's historical stories. That's, you know, those are all backed by scientific information too. So like whenever you go in and you're doing like Pensacola Ghost Events and Apple Annie's, and, you know, are you also getting distracted by ghosts? Are you know what I'm saying? Like, does that tap in whenever you're doing those events also? Because you're doing multiple things within Seville Quarter, but do they interrupt there?
Well, I think with Seville, Wesley, me and Wesley have a pretty cool relationship. So he will do weird things. Like, I mean, I've seen him do some weird things. And I think if I was just going there just to eat, he wouldn't bother me. But because I'm going there to bring people to interact with him, he sets the place on fire. Like, I mean, it is unbelievable. I had people, grown guys, that are like, if this happens, I'm going. And this happened, but he stayed because he was cool.
Okay.
But, you know, so yeah, there is like a lot of activity, I think, in layers in downtown historic Pensacola. And I truly do feel that location, Seville is haunted. There are several others. The Children's Museum, the Gray House. Oh my God, is that haunted? There's just so many different locations. The old jail is haunted. Pensacola Little Theater. The Imogene is haunted. I mean, we along with my team, Second Sight Paranormal, Richard, and all of the whole team, they have investigated so many different locations in Pensacola and Alabama and Kentucky, and just, you know, so we know what's haunted and what's not. And a lot of times when people will have something going on in their house, they will contact us, and I'll do a scan, like a remote view scan or astral travel kind of look at it. And then if we can not help them over the phone, that's when we bring in the big guns. That's the team, Second Sight Paranormal. And then, like I said, we've got, I love my team because we have Sabrina, who makes being a witch wonderful. So if she needs to help a family that's Wiccan, we've got her. We've got Christians on the team. We've got Catholics on the team. We have pretty much everything covered to help you if you need something specifically with your being respectful of your religious path.
Well, I think an important thing to note here is that you totally missed the opportunity where, like, she helps people find things. She can help you find your mental health.
Oh God, Lord mercy. Okay, this guy right here. But
put a towel on it.
Yeah, so you can foresee stuff too. It's not just speaking to those who have passed away. You can foresee things in the future. There was a waitress at Seville that lost her finger or got cut with a finger, right?
Okay, so that's kind of funny how that happened. This was a chick in New Orleans, and I always tell people psychics aren't necessarily fortune tellers, because in that like if I were to tell somebody, I'll give you a good example. So
are you talking about like they'll act a certain way and then end up trying to change it or something?
Say that one more time.
I said, is it like more of a thing where if you tell people what's going to happen, they'll try to divert it to prevent something
like
bad
Final
from happening?
Destination?
I wasn't.
Yeah, I think I look at me. I can't speak for other fortune teller and psychics out there that might be trying to sell you some stuff to reunite your lover, because Ericka ain't that girl. But
it's called acid to make you see things that's not there.
Oh no.
Yeah, I get a lot of calls for that. I'm like, no, I don't do that. That's not me. But as far as that, an example would be as far as future-oriented readings. Like I remember talking to a lady one time, and I was told that she needed to go get her boob checked because I could see like a dot, which I have a way of asking things, and it appeared to be cancer. Now, I didn't predict that. I was told some information. She later went to the hospital and did determine that that boob had cancer in it. So I kind of like try to say that we psychics are just a roadmap to help you along the process of life. And I always tell people, don't take anything a person who allegedly is psychic says for 100%. Because let's just say if a psychic told me not to marry my husband, because I don't know, he was from, Morocco and y'all are different or whatever. Mm-hmm. If I would have listened to that person, I would have been a dumb girl because I have the best husband in the world. So I always say that to people. When you go to a psychic and they're trying to predict the future, you got to question a lot about like who they are, their ethics. I mean, because usually when I get anything, it's not concrete in the sense that they're trying to predict. They're trying to help you more navigate your life, not tell you what to do. And that is very important, because when people say they can predict, there are people that I know that do that, but it's usually not where they're predicting something to change or alter your life that takes the control of your free will away. So be careful with that, guys, okay?
Yeah.
Just for the record, I've never found cancer, but I've tried to find it in a lot of booze.
Oh gosh. Oh man, this guy right here. I'm done with him. I'm done with him. So how are you? So you're also a life coach, and I saw it was a international psychic medium and life coach. So your positive energy definitely portrays that. So what does being a life coach entail?
Well, so a life coach to me is, I always tell people I'm not an enabler. If you came for an enabler, go someplace else. I'm all about, I'm going to give you a message, or I'm going to give you some insight to a situation, and then you're going to look at options, and then you're going to move forward. Sometimes I refer people to counseling because there might be other things that they might need. And as a life coach, I think of myself as a business coach the most, because there are times that I'll look at a person's business and say, you need to do this. Let's go to Fiverr. Let's go here. Let's do this. Let's do that. And I'll have them a checklist of things. But life coach to me is just pretty much them identifying the things that they need work or help on, and me being able to not counsel them, because that's when I refer them to a counselor, but me being able to help them with tools to help basically change their lives. And I think me giving them that help, they help me. It's a reciprocal thing. So I see myself as a life coach more so as like, what is the problem? Okay, team you, let's get it done. And this is what you need to do, and boom. And then I'm always putting them at the driver's seat, because I never want to be that person to tell you what to do. Again,
You're a big
because
supporter.
I'm your cheerleader. I'm your chocolate cheerleader, but I'm definitely not going to tell you what to do.
Right. I understand that. Well, I definitely appreciate you joining us. Can you tell us about all the different ways we can contact you?
The best thing I would say is go to secondsighttv.com and check out my wonderful team. Also, you can go to Pensacola Ghost events, and look at Fort Morgan is coming up in September. That place is absolutely haunted. Hush, hush, I shouldn't tell you this, but it's going to be featured on a major television show. Our team helped out with that recently. And you definitely want to go to Fort Morgan and try that out if you can, because you will definitely, I think it's a little bit more haunted than Fort Pickens, to be honest. But it's definitely worth a visit, even if you don't go with us to investigate. Go by yourself, but check it out. coldcasepsychic.com, my own personal website. And I can't accept any more friends on Facebook, but find me on Facebook and follow me, because then you can watch all my crazy stuff that I got going on in my life.
Oh, yeah. And you have a YouTube channel, so you can also look up her name and subscribe, right?
Yeah, you can look us up on YouTube. And if you're on Roku, all of our Second Sight Paranormal TV, we have our own Roku channel called Second Sight TV. And you can just search that in the Roku channel and add us, and then you can watch all of our shows. Our new one, Cursed Cliffs, was crazy. It was at the Bluffs, and we actually interacted with a negative spirit, and it scratched. It scratched Richard. It did some stuff in the bathtub. Scratched me. and flooded my other team member's house the same freaking night. It was crazy.
I saw that, and I actually have a question about that. I forgot to even bring it up. My friend Kelly and I tried to go ghost hunting before, right? So we went to a cemetery, and whenever we left, we were just like, it felt like something was like hovering. Does that make sense? And it was really trippy. So something that we almost had, like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was kind of like, you know, any evil spirits, we rebuke you from, you know, being attached to us, or something like that. What would you do whenever you felt like you were scratched, other than sage? Is there something else you can do?
I go straight biblical, so I'm a frankincense and myrrh. I'm going to do prayer. I'm going to more than likely not do the rite of exorcism, but maybe. The power of Christ compels you. I definitely cleanse my house, cleanse my car, and I am all about, I have an angelic entourage around me that watches and protects and kicks ass when necessary. So I would just ask them to watch over me and take care of it, and they usually do. So
okay,
that's
awesome.
I would like to bring this up. I keep forgetting about it. You know, me and her are starting a cover band. That's what I was talking about earlier. I'm a bass player and should be the singer. And we thought about naming our band Station 13. Do you want to tell her the story about Station 13?
Oh, well, I don't know the full story about Station 13.
Well, just Cliff Notes.
Well, my grandfather used to be a firefighter, and I'm actually not sure if it was Station 13, but there was one.
It's Station 13.
Okay, there was one on Pensacola NAS that's now burned down, I believe. Is it burnt down?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
But they had, my grandfather does not believe in paranormal. He does not, you know what I mean? He's like, there's a scientific explanation, period. You know, he's just straight ahead like that. Well, he'll tell you there's a ghost. There was a ghost there whenever he was there. It would shut the door, it would open it, it would slam, it would turn on lights, turn them off, open blinds, close them. So, like, he was all like, nope, you know, I can't explain it, but
Not gonna do it, no.
there's a ghost there. I totally believe there's a ghost there. They had a name for him and everything. But yeah, are you trying to say, do you think that Station 13 is a good band name? Is that what you're asking?
I thought we had this discussion. That's exactly
He's in love with it.
It's actually, you know, I would say it's a good band name because 13 is usually a number that people associate with being Friday the 13th. So it's rememberable. And then 13 is always considered to be like an unlucky number, right? Mm-hmm. So when you reverse something like that, like when you look at a black cat, it's always, okay, it's a black cat, it's bad. When you reverse that and make it an awesome kick-ass band, I think that would rock. Okay. I like that. Yeah.
I would call it Cat Eyes, huh? She just got that up.
Cat Eyes? I don't know.
She's going to be our singer, so you know what I mean?
Oh, Lord have mercy. Well, once again, we definitely appreciate reaching out to you, me reaching out to you and you being so gracious to join us on this show.
Is this over?
I mean, I don't have, do y'all have any more questions?
I have a question for the lady that's next to you. What's her first name?
Cindy.
Hi.
Cynthia.
Hey, Cindy, how are you doing?
Doing all right.
Okay. So, since I've been kind of like watching you, sometimes this happens to me too, okay? So, I know that you will probably frequently see birds, okay? Birds, they can be red birds or bluebirds, cardinals specifically. And you would have seen one recently, possibly a red one, I would think. It would probably be an anniversary of death. But what happens to you is that when, I'm assuming this is your mom or something like that, you actually have a dead man, which is kind of interesting. That's a whole nother story. It's probably a boyfriend or ex-husband or somebody. You got a couple people that are kind of technically dead. But we'll say this, when you see that red bird, let that be an affirmation to you that things are going to be okay. And so health-wise for you, there might have been some things going on recently that you're worried about. And I would just tell you to not worry so much, that you're going to be okay, all right?
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah, all right.
That's awesome. Yeah.
It's funny because I do sit on the back porch and
Watch
look for
birds. She does. Yeah, exactly. That nailed it. So.
Yeah. I'm kind of teary-eyed.
I have another quick question. I have another quick question for Cindy. My birthday was in August, so I just had my birthday August 2nd. Do you have like a birthday coming up or just passed?
Coming up.
Okay, all right. I think if your mom is passed, I would say this is your mom. And the male to me is kind of confusing because I don't think you've been married 3 times.
Oh no.
But this would be someone who probably is in your past. Doesn't necessarily have to be a husband per se, but it would be someone who is very close to you. I can't say you dated him. It feels weird. It feels like a gay best friend. I don't know. It's just a weird thing. I don't know. I have to figure that out. But it's good.
There was a young man, his family, we were all good friends. And he's passed.
Was he gay, by the way?
Yes, ma'am, he was.
I think because see, it's funny, and that's why I always say if you're gay, you're gay, you're gay, because when you come back, you're still gay. And his energy he didn't feel like your man. That's why I was saying it was like weird. He didn't feel like your man. He felt like a gay best friend. So I would just say that maybe you were an ear to him, okay, when he needed you to be there, and he loved you, okay?
Okay, well, thank you.
You're welcome. Awesome. All right. And then you have 2 other males too, but I don't know who they are. I'd have to focus on that.
Okay. All right.
That's awesome. We appreciate you doing that also on the show. That's pretty cool. That was really cool.
Yeah.
All right. And then I have another quick question because this has been bothering me. So the guy, do you like if I were to lift up your shirt, like you don't have to, but do you have anything like weird, like a scar or tattoos on your stomach?
I do have there's a band called Down from New Orleans, and I have their first album cover tattooed on my stomach.
Okay, because I kept seeing that. That's the weird. That's like one of my weird gifts. Like I can look at people and see them naked. I'm just joking.
Well, I'm just saying you need a wide angle lens. You know what I'm saying?
Don't be too confident.
I don't really see you naked. I'm just joking, but it's like I can see weird tattoos. It's the weirdest thing. It's like it's one of my weird gifts. I can like see scars on you or tattoos or Napoleon piercings was the funniest thing I've ever seen. You'd have to Google that. Not now.
Well, I think we're pretty familiar with what the Napoleon piercing is. We've heard things.
Yeah, I was doing a gallery and I saw that, and I think I got educated and died at the same time. I was like, oh my God, what did I just see?
Well, Kristen's got some interesting piercings, don't you?
No, what do you see on me?
Maybe a left something here. Do you have any piercings on your boob? Left side?
Both sides, yep.
I only saw the left one.
You only saw the left one? Oh, well, let me turn. Just kidding. Oh, man.
This is this weird thing, and I'm going to tell you something funny too. Me and you have something in common, and I won't say it online, but you have a mole. I'll say this. You have a mole in a very interesting spot. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you mole?
You have a mole in an interesting spot. You know what? I kind of do, and that's okay. Yeah. I'm interested. I'm totally down to get this text message now. I'll let you know if it's confirmed or not. Well,
no pictures.
Yeah, no pictures. Yeah, we're not doing none of that. But.
Well, thank you so much, guys. It was wonderful. And again, I appreciate you having me come on. And I love that you're supporting local people, especially the music scene. That's just what we need right now.
That's how we met.
Yeah, that is how we met. Yeah. I really appreciate it. That means a lot coming from somebody so awesome like you. I really think that you have a good thing going with the life coach thing. That's a perfect alleyway for you since you are so intuitive.
Thank you, girl. Thank you. I just I think that we all, especially you guys, are using your heart to do what you feel guided and passionate about, and it shows that. And as long as we keep doing that, it's going to blossom and grow.
Oh, I appreciate that. you have a great evening. I hope that somebody hits you up soon too, because I'm sure we will.
Oh yeah.
I know she will. She's ready. She's ready to get one of those live readings. Are you still at Live? Is it on Softly Field Road? What's that?
Live and Let Live, Sal's store. I'm actually doing only phone appointments because right now I'm in the process. I call myself a serial entrepreneur. So I'm working on different businesses, online businesses. And so I came home because my son was his last year of school, basically, and I wanted to kind of come home and be home. And so I still refer to Live and Let Live and the Celtic Cauldron, the Happy Crow. I think that's all that's left in Pensacola. All of those stores for people that want in-person readings, but I'm strictly a phone psychic now.
Hey, that's fine. I'm sure we'll be calling you soon.
Hey, this is Vecilio. I'll tell you in the future.
Well, thank you again. I'll sign off from here.
Are we really doing this? This isn't fun enough? We should stay?
Fans ready to go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye. Oh, man. There we go. That was the awesome Miss Ericka Boussarhane. I actually wrote it out. I should have asked her so I could hear it one more time to make sure. All right, we're going to put us up. Woo! All right, you can lean this way just a wow. There we go. We back in the picture. Well, yeah, you can take these off now because we're not interviewing anybody, but I did want to sign off properly. Just so y'all know, this is my mom. My mom is totally awesome. I appreciate
She is.
you
I've met her
joining
a
us.
couple times and
Once or twice.
once or twice.
Yeah, she's good people. But I appreciate you joining us on the show. Thank you for doing your podcast debut.
Well, I did have a lot of questions, but not.
You should.
But not.
But not for here.
Right.
Oh, you're talking about that cardinal thing.
Oh no, I thought she was
Yeah,
talking
and-
about the first thing you told me about
Then,
what she thought was interesting.
Friends.
Yeah.
I would also like to mention that this is an amazing person too. I've gotten to know Crystal very, very well in the past couple weeks. Simply,
What do you think?
simply amazing.
He's like, you don't know her yet.
Yeah, you haven't got to see the downside of all that.
Yeah. Well, we're signing off here. Thank you for watching PcolaPodcasters. Sorry for the delay. We'll be back next week at 5 p.m. Actually, no.
Be 4 p.m.
4 p.m. We're switching it up to 4 p.m. just so
Are
you
we
know.
really doing that now?
Yeah.
That's so not good.
Why?
Because it's 4 instead of 5.
And what's that got to do with the tea in China?
I thought we talked about this, though.
I thought it was because of daylight savings or something like that.
It's because of bar bingo. I have to go to bar bingo at 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. at Woodsy's.
So bar bingo's like going to be earlier in September, is that what you're saying?
No, it's easier to do the show and do our...
Oh, I see. So you got like a
interview.
buffer zone. Like,
Yeah, so
oh.
I can grab my equipment and go. And I live in Pace.
You know I got
And
a
Woodsy's
penis, so I
in
don't understand nothing
Pensacola.
women tell me.
Yeah, time management. You probably don't know nothing about that neither, do you? Time management.
Oh, wait, no, let's don't get into this on air about time management.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Since there's time management, it's time out from mom. See y'all later.
She's like, I'm gonna go grab me. Yeah. I'm gonna go outside. All right. Peace out, y'all. It's still live.
Is it still live?
It's still live. No, it's not. I swear to God it is. I swear I'll prove it. I'm not gonna turn it off right now. Okay, bye, y'all.
No.
Yeah.